It's Monday night. We got a lot to get to on Raw here with the Monday night leading into Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is all set up. It's ready to go. Got our final two participants in this year's Money in the Bank, being ZOEY Stark and Drew McIntyre. We'll get to that very shortly. First off, happy Canada Day to Doug. How was your Canada Day, by the way? Mine was, eh.
Busy, busy. Just packing. I did go help some family with something. But yeah, happy Canada Day to you and yours.
Yeah, it's Canada Day. It's a
Yeah,
day off, time and a half, or whatever you want to
hot
call it.
take, hot take.
Sure.
If I never hear another firework again, it'll be too soon.
Yeah, yep, yep. Let's celebrate the birth of your nation by blowing a bit of it up. Why not? All right, let's get to Raw though. It was the Raw go home show to Money in the Bank in about 5 days here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We're going. Yours truly are both going. We got tickets. We're happy to be going to Money in the Bank. Exciting, it really is. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for it, to be honest. It's
Oh, I'm
like Christmas.
excited, dude.
It's like Christmas. It really is. It's absolutely like
Oh
Christmas.
yeah.
Uh, Raw opens up though with Jey Uso coming through the crowd, doing the whole yeet stuff and everything. I can't wait to do that in Toronto. Actually, that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, uh, goes down, starts saying how he's the one who's going to win Money in the Bank until he gets interrupted by Chad Gable. Chad Gable comes out, starts saying how he's really going to win and that he should be worried because he took the Fireflies away from Uncle Howdy. Whereas Jey Uso responds saying, "No, I didn't. No, I gave them all back. I don't want anything to do with that. I want none of that smoke."
No, I don't want that smoke.
Exactly. Which
Actually, um, Taylor or Bo, I don't know what he's going by right now. Uncle
the,
Uncle Howdy
yeah, they kind of revealed that
gave
today.
us gave us kind of more of a direction as to where they're going
Mm-hmm.
in this kind of like vigilante style. You know, you've done people wrong or you're
Yeah,
mistreating people and you're gonna pay for it. So
yeah. We got to that part in later on in Raw too with the Uncle Howdy video that was dropped off because that happened as they were going after Chad Gable after during this segment.
yeah.
They chased him all
So
around the arena.
yeah, with silhouettes of the
Rambling Rabbit,
yeah, rabbit
Mercy the Buzzard,
and I believe the pig as well.
uh, yeah, Porcus Pig or whatever the heck his name is.
But again, Nikki Cross dropping off another VHS tape to Michael Cole.
Yeah,
Which, by the way, no Pat McAfee on this show. He was replaced today by
Corey
Corey
Graves.
Graves. Pat will be back next week, according to
Yeah,
Michael Cole.
yep.
That's fine.
That video kind of revealed a lot of stuff, though.
Right. So I'll give you the biggest takeaway from me, and then you can go ahead.
Sure.
The biggest takeaway for me from that video, they aired it about an hour later.
Yeah,
Um, of it's further establishing that Bo Dallas or Taylor Rotunda is Uncle Howdy. They're one and the same.
yeah,
But it feels like their motive is fueled by people that are mistreating others close to them for personal gain,
yeah.
such as the way Chad Gable has been mistreating Otis and Maxine and Tazawa.
He referred to him as his family.
Right. Although again, Chad was still trying to mend that fence and
Mm-hmm.
Otis basically tell him to fuck off. Um,
This is the right thing
but
to do.
but honestly, especially after SmackDown
Yeah,
this past week, you could also loop Solo into this.
I don't think
But
they're going to go after the bloodline.
I don't think they're going after Bloodline right now, but I could definitely see it.
Maybe in a weakened state in like a few months. Because I'm
Yeah,
assuming,
I think we got to get past SummerSlam first, but
yeah, I think you need to get past SummerSlam, the supposed Civil War at War Games at Survivor Series, and
yeah, but
then
you
maybe
still
then,
have, but you still have that little gap in between, right?
yeah,
You still have to deal with August, September, October into parts of November.
yeah.
So like that's a lot of time to kill.
I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of time to really,
Now again, I'm not gonna give a full unfiltered like yay or nay about this
okay,
until I see this group in the ring. Now, this is comprised of a lot of good workers,
yeah,
um, with Rowan, Loomis, Gacy, even
Nikki
Bo himself,
and
and
Nikki
Nikki
Cross,
Cross.
yeah,
And the thing is like, is Alexa a part of the group? Is Alexa not a part of the group?
yeah,
When she eventually comes back from maternity leave, is she going to jump right into this group, or is there going to be, because her last appearance on TV before she uh, got pregnant was another like kind of her fighting that possession, that hold that Bray had on her,
yeah,
but it also it just kept coming back.
yeah.
You'd see in Alexa's segments, you'd see that Wyatt logo flash somewhere, and she would just become enamored.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what goes on with Alexis Bliss when she comes back. To be honest, they may even just go after her. They might, Nikki Cross might even go after her. You know, so I mean, they might even use a
Oh,
betray. They might even use the betrayal angle based on what happened at WrestleMania a number of
WrestleMania
years ago.
37,
Yeah,
yes.
so they might do that, right? I mean, so it's
Could
hard to
be
say what they might do with Alexa Bliss. No word really on whether or not Alexa Bliss will be back. Yeah,
anytime soon.
anytime soon. I
No.
think she had the baby. I want to say January.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, listen, she'll come back when she wants to come back, and
Yeah.
that's cool. I am definitely a family type person, so take as
Well,
much time with the new one.
yeah, I think she'll probably be gone for quite a while. After, to be honest, with you.
Sure.
I don't see. I don't see.
I could see her coming back towards the end of the year,
I could see her
possibly.
maybe back at the Rumble,
Yeah, that
maybe
too.
as a surprise, like
Yeah,
possibly a prize number 1 or number 30 or 25 or that stuff. So
yeah,
I can see that possibly, but who knows? Whatever happens with Alexa Bliss, I hope she comes back. I like Alexa Bliss. She was fun.
yeah, of course.
Uh,
Um,
we did. I don't understand where this carrying cross and this New Day stuff's going. You want to help me with this one? Because I have no idea where this is going.
so now I think the way I interpret this
Yeah.
is they attacked after the match. Woods got the fluke win.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. With the most devastating move of all pro wrestling.
Good old schoolboy.
Yeah.
But um, it looks like they kind of played it as if Cross maybe ripped the tricep with that hold of Kofi Kingston,
I guess
maybe
so.
kind of write him off or attempt to break his arm. Um, but I think we're approaching the closing stages of it. The thing is I think this is all leading to a six-man tag at SummerSlam.
With who?
I don't know. Someone's going to come save the New Day at some point,
Yeah, because it ain't gonna be Big E.
as far as we know.
Uh, I'm pretty sure, but I mean, from what I understand,
As far as we know,
yeah, I don't.
he's as of right now, he is no longer, or sorry, he's still not cleared, or
Yeah,
he's cleared, but he's afraid of kind of one bad bump and it could have catastrophic consequences.
well, yeah, because that where that broke was like he was
His
pretty close
C1,
to. He was pretty close to saying goodbye is no longer BE. Like he was
well,
close.
I mean, yeah, he broke his C1.
Yeah.
Like this, that's not an easy injury to come back from.
No.
But I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see what goes on with that because I don't think Big E can come back. I mean, I hope he does at some point, but I just don't see it right now.
There was a part of me that thought Kofi was in that arm lock long enough where I thought someone was coming out for the save,
Yeah,
but
nothing.
nobody did. So
No.
um I don't
I
know.
mean,
We'll just have to wait and see with that one.
yeah, well,
I did want to touch on something really quickly before we move on.
yeah,
Um, so I had a friend today
okay,
send me a screenshot of a PW Insider report
okay,
of the current state of the NXT TNA partnership.
okay,
And I'm going to read to you what it says.
sure.
And I quote: The NXT TNA crossover is expected to continue at Slammiversary. We've asked about the idea of Wesley reuniting with the Rascals.
Mhm.
A WWE source said that nothing is off the table as the two sides continue to build their relationship.
Yeah,
Um, that was sent to me by my buddy AJ. And yeah, so Wesley may be the biggest name that you can get out of NXT right now that has a TNA connection. As him and Zachary Wentz, I think.
yeah, Wentz.
Yeah. They they were they were tag team champions in TNA as uh fucking as the Rascals.
They weren't the Rascals; they were something else.
Oh yeah. They were
But it was similar to what they were doing on Called the Rascals. It's very similar. They were called the Rascals though.
yeah,
So it's so long I don't even remember what they were called because of the whole.
same because they were
They were pretty popular. They won the tag
how long
nights.
has Wesley been in WWE? Like
Uh,
when did him and Wentz come over?
at least 4 years ago,
Pre-pandemic, right?
somewhere around the pandemic, somewhere around that.
Around the pandemic or
It
pre-pandemic?
might have been pre-pandemic, but they became popular during the pandemic.
Sure. Okay. Um, yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
It's good for it. This is really good for the WWE what they're doing with TNA. It really is.
I'm waiting to see Joe Hendry's next appearance. I'm waiting to see if you can get Josh Alexander involved.
Yeah, that could be interesting if they're going to do that.
I'm waiting to see if you can even get Moose involved. Um,
I mean,
because
it's possible.
there's some matches there you could do.
Yeah,
But again, I guess only time will tell.
time will tell.
Slammiversary is coming up in a couple weeks, so
You also know what also time to tell is? Time will tell will be what happens between Finn Balor and the Judgment Day as well as Damian Priest because
oh, they really showed the dissension in the ranks
oh they
today.
really did today in the Judgment Day stuff. Finn Balor basically questioned Damian Priest. Because this will lead right into Seth Rollins too. But we'll get in between. We'll go right to that actually before we do the Liv Morgan and Selena Vega stuff because we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
that
it'll
kind of involves the whole thing there.
yeah,
Uh, so in the back, first off, Priest talked to Dom and said, "Hey, guess what? I talked to Rhea and she's pissed."
yep,
Dom's not happy about that. But then he got to Finn Balor, and Finn Balor saying, "You know, I'm your brother, I'm your boy, whatever. I got your back, and I'm telling the truth." And doesn't like where this is going with Priest. Doesn't like how Priest basically he doesn't need anybody, doesn't need a Judgment Day. That didn't sit well with Finn, which leads us to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins came out and started cutting a promo on the whole match thing, which led out Balor first.
yep,
And Balor was not having it as and didn't like where it was going, which brought out Priest because Priest was just not having Finn Balor getting in his business.
yep. Well, Priest has maintained pretty much since he won the title that he wants to stand on his own two legs about this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's you know,
He wants to be that fighting champion that people want to have, right?
he's yeah, so he takes pride in being world champion.
Yep.
And you know, you can definitely see the change, as Finn Balor put it, in
Yeah.
Damian Priest since he won the title. And we've talked about it on the show a few
Yeah.
times,
Yeah.
where it's kind of like Priest leveled up,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, he talked
And
about how he doesn't feel like he needs the judge of the day. Like he actually flat out said,
mhm,
right, that when Rhea was the champion, right, like
they needed her
they
more.
needed her. She needed us as much as they needed that, as she needed her. Priest saying the exact same thing, and now that they're the tag champions there too, he's like almost saying the exact same thing. It's still not sitting well with Balor. Judging by the fact that Balor attacked Seth Rollins under the behest that like Priest did not like and stopped them, which
And then
ended
ate a
up
super kick.
with a super kick. Then Balor got stomped,
Yep.
and then Priest came back and south of heaven, Seth Rollins just stood
Rollins,
tall.
yeah.
Now let's go wrestling logic here, because we talked wrestling logic on the last episode with the AEW on our kind of our quick Forbidden Door guesses there. We all said do the wrestling logic that Swerve was probably going to lose the title because of how
Oh,
it ended.
speaking of AEW, really quick,
Yeah,
did you see that promo that they aired for Hangman on Collision Saturday night?
I did. He's probably the wild card against Jeff Jarrett.
I believe it. And he could
And
probably win the whole thing.
I'll be honest, Jeff, part of me has a soft spot for Jeff Jarrett winning.
I get that because
Just because,
the
yeah,
connection to Owen, but I think
yeah,
because there's a title match on the line,
yeah.
I think you're very likely going to see something like a Bryan Danielson and Hangman final.
With Hangman winning to
Hangman
play,
winning.
which would probably reason why also Swerve probably won at Forbidden Door,
And you can
which means
ooh,
Swerve versus Hangman probably at Wembley,
for the title, yeah. I
right?
could see that.
Because I'm pretty sure Osprey versus him just going to happen for that international title. I don't know, Zach. I don't know if MJF would even need that title,
No,
but
he see MJF doesn't act that doesn't need a title,
no,
but if he's gonna, you know, tout about how good he is, then he's gonna have to have some hardware to back it up.
yeah. So
Um,
since we've talked wrestling logic here, and after what has happened and transpired on AEW Forbidden Door, do you think Priest walks out?
no, because Balor's gonna turn on him.
I thought about the exact same thing too. I think Balor's going to cost Priest the title.
Yep. I think I think this is where you start to see the cracks in the Judgment Day. You're gonna, and then when Rhea gets back, which I think is very soon, as soon as possibly Saturday,
Yeah.
I think that um she's gonna come back and be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yep. Pretty much.
And then we're gonna get kind of like the Judgment Day's version of a civil war, I suppose. Because
It'll be like yeah,
I really think it's at the end of this, it's going to be Dom, Priest, and Rhea versus Finn, JD,
and live.
and Liv. And I
Yeah.
mean, they got Carlito in their corner, I suppose, but
That's one of those matches you could probably do at say
you could definitely do it at SummerSlam.
you could definitely do it at SummerSlam, or you could definitely do it as at the next pay per view after
That's
that.
well, I think the next one after that is Berlin.
You could do it in Berlin.
You could absolutely. That's if Rhea's not ready.
Yeah, I think Rhea's
The
the
whole
word
thing,
the, the,
this
the
whole
word
thing hinges on Rhea being ready.
the word on Rhea right now is that they're gonna bring her back, but she won't do it via a wrestling capacity till at least SummerSlam.
Okay.
That's the word right now. So there's a possibility she may be there Saturday. If not, probably Raw in Ottawa. Maybe.
Which I mean, I guess more Judgment Day adjacent
Yeah.
stuff. Liv cost Dom a match against Ray.
And Dom had helped Liv. So since we're getting to that, let's get into those two
Yeah,
matches then. Since it is also Judgment Day record, we're just going all the one big snowball. Uh, first match before that was Liv versus Selena Vega.
for the women's world title.
Yeah, good match. Dom basically helped her out the exact same way he helped out Becky
Yeah,
for the most part.
ate a chair shot
Yeah,
for his trouble.
yeah. And then Liv hit him with Oblivion, just hit Selena Vega with Oblivion, just like she did to Becky.
Yep.
Uh, After that, Shad returned the favor to Dom when he faced his father again. It just keeps happening.
I'll let you finish, but like Ray said something really interesting this week that
Yeah.
I
So
think you'd like.
so Ray versus Dom. This time roles reversed. Dom ended up falling onto Liv this time. Ray had to take him off and Liv, throw him back in the ring, gave her shit, and went back in the ring. Eventually, and ended up beating his son again.
Yeah. He said in an interview with Chris Van Vliet late last week
I remember hearing something about this.
that because WWE is doing all these like international PLEs,
Yeah.
He wants it eventually to line up where it's in Mexico.
Yeah.
And the main event of that show being his mask and his career versus like Dom's hair and Dom's career, or Santos's hair and career, or all three of them.
It's quite
Uh,
possible. Considering the way that WWE is doing a lot of international shows, especially this year, when you think about,
it's almost inevitable that Mexico
yeah,
is on the way.
yeah, if not, I don't think this year, I don't think they have enough time, but probably next year.
Yeah,
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, 2 years ago, Backlash was the year, but yeah, 2 years ago,
was
Backlash
in Puerto
was in Puerto
Rico.
Rico. I could see it be Backlash after WrestleMania in
In
Mexico.
Mexico,
I
yeah,
can see that.
I,
I can see
I'd be
that.
okay with that. Yeah,
And
for
you know
sure.
what? Quite frankly, I'll be honest with you. I said before the show, and I'll say, go on saying it too. The international shows are a lot better than what you see in the U.S. for shows. Probably because they're just spoiled for the shows all the time.
Yeah, so I think the US crowds are kind of victims of overexposure.
Yeah,
And then you get crowds like you'll hear us on Saturday. Like Toronto is always a really hot crowd.
it is. Toronto has turned people babyface without even intending to turn people babyface,
And vice
and
versa.
vice versa. So
Um,
a lot of big moments have happened in Toronto, especially over the years.
oh, it's not even that, but I'm saying like, but you look at, I mean, Scotland was a good crowd. France was
France,
incredible.
Puerto Rico was insanely great.
Puerto Rico,
Money in the Bank in London, and
London was
it was
great.
great. Berlin's probably gonna be off the hook.
German fans are ridiculous. But yeah, like it's just you get these markets that are so starved for the biggest wrestling company in the world.
Yeah,
Um,
I
and
mean, even like to be honest, even Saudi Arabia, even though they get them once like twice a year now, they still have a lot of fun.
those crowds in Saudi are starting to die down, but those first few shows,
they're packed, they're fun,
yeah.
right?
What do you make of I don't think we've touched on this, but this news item's a couple weeks old. What do you make of AEW running Dynamite and Collision in Wales right before Wembley?
I think this seems to be the norm now. Like you see a lot of these on these international shows, right? WWE is a great example. We'll use WWE example. So this week in Toronto, we have SmackDown, we have Money in the Bank, and then we have NXT Heatwave. If you look at France, they did SmackDown, and they did the pay-per-view. Berlin,
Scott
I'm sure Berlin will have SmackDown, right? Even Saudi, even the
Scotland got
Saudi
the same
show,
treat.
yeah.
Yeah, Scotland got the same treatment. They did
Even
the same thing.
in Saudi Arabia, exact same thing in Riyadh.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's kind of becoming the norm. So I'm completely okay with it.
Well,
Even when
this will be AEW's first televised event outside of the United States and Canada.
yeah, because even when AEW was here last, it was just a Dynamite, but they did Dynamite and they did Collision, and I think they did Rampage.
Hmm.
So but I mean, different locations. I think two were in Hamilton, one was in Toronto. So I mean, it's becoming the norm, and I think that's really cool. You like, I mean, yes, it's a little more expensive because you buy the whole package now, but it's also really cool to get a chance to like, if you can't go to say like, to be honest, with you, if I didn't get those tickets to Money in the Bank,
We
I would
wouldn't
have,
be able to go.
no, but I would have tried I would have tried for SmackDown.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Or even Heat Wave would have been
Or
cool
even
too.
Heatwave would be cool, right? Like, I would have tried for one of those. So like, it's fun because like you could do if you do the package, or they're here for 3 nights. You could try to go to at least to one of them, man, especially if you're a diehard wrestling fan. And it's a good place to
Right.
take the fan out. So it's a lot of fun. I think it's great that the companies do that nowadays. I wish more people would do that. More companies will do it. And I think they are going to start doing it
Well,
more.
they had like what was it, the 4 nights they did for SummerSlam in 2019. They did the SmackDown Takeover, which we went to,
Yeah.
SummerSlam,
And they did Raw.
and then we went to the Raw the
Yeah.
night after. Um, so like I think it's the best way to kind of garner as much as you can because like it gives no matter where they go to, it gives the economy there a boost, right?
Hmm. Also,
It
too,
it doesn't matter if it's AEW or WWE.
no, I was just saying it's like, although we did get something added to this Toronto Money at the Bank weekend though, too. It's just they just kind of announced it tonight. It's on the 4th of July in Toronto, which is Thursday. Sami Zayn
You
and
talking about Sami
friends.
Zayn's show?
Sami Zayn, yeah, do
They
Toronto
announced
comedy
that two
show.
weeks ago.
They do Toronto. I just saw it tonight.
Yeah, yeah. No, they just announced it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Sami Zayn was kind of jokingly getting some heat because he was tweeting out a pre-sale code
Hmm.
about his show right after the Wyatt Sticks first attack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's at the Danforth Music Hall in Toronto.
good venue.
Yeah. Uh, Tickets aren't too bad, to be honest with you. I mean, I've never been to the Danforth Music Hall, so I couldn't tell
I
you
have.
is it nice?
It's older, but
Yeah.
it's a good venue.
It's in Little Greece.
It is. Yeah.
Uh, see, from what I understand there, tickets range between like 97 to like $105, from what I understand.
For a
I'm not
comedy
going.
show,
I'm working, so I'm not.
yeah, so am I.
I'm
But
not be going. But that's another event though too. Like they could do too. Like I'm surprised. I haven't heard any word of the Undertaker's One Dead Man show. That I would probably spend the money to go.
I don't think that's happening this go
No,
around.
I don't think it is either. I haven't heard anything about it. But if that was happening, I would definitely be going to that show. That is a show I would definitely pay a fair amount to go.
I
Just
think the
because,
next one of those, I think the next one of those you're gonna see is probably in Cleveland for SummerSlam.
more than likely.
Um,
Speaking of Money in the Bank this weekend, since we've been on the topic of Money in the Bank and this whole weekend coming up, the last two qualifiers have been announced and have qualified for Money in the Bank. I'm a little surprised. I'm the women's one between Ivy Nile, Zoe Stark, and Dakota Kai.
it was kind of a pick 'em. Just
Yeah, I didn't. I kind of wanted Ivy Nile in it over Dakota Kai as well as Zoe Stark.
I
I don't
think
know why. I feel Ivy Nile doesn't get enough
I think having
chances.
Dakota Kai in that match would have been cool with like the recent
With the
kind of
Reese's,
troubles.
Yeah,
troubles with damage control.
yeah,
I think having Dakota Kai in there would have been cool, but I'm okay with Zoe.
yeah. I'm okay with. I just thought maybe like you would give it to Ivy Nile. I thought maybe part of it was kind of pulling more for Ivy Nile than Zoe Stark because I feel Zoe Stark gets a lot of chances, and they just see like Ivy Nile maybe doesn't get enough chances. I don't know. I just kind of just want to see differences, but
Yeah,
the field is definitely different than what you think it would be. It's. I mean, I know we picked Tiffany Stratton to win,
my
but
my pick is still Tiffany Stratton.
so is mine. But if you look at this field, any one of those women could possibly win and go for the title, except probably for Zoe Stark.
I could see Io Sky repeating too.
So can I. I can see that as well. Uh, I guess I see Strat winning it. I can also see Chelsea Green winning it. That'd be a fun time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she could be the first woman to not cash in.
That'd be funny, but at the same time, wasted opportunity.
Yeah, but
Um,
I mean, if they've done the men a few times, nobody in the women's have failed, have they? Not to my knowledge.
um, no, I believe that every single woman
Has cashed in.
has cashed in successfully.
Yeah,
Chelsea Green would probably be the first to
yeah,
cash in unsuccessfully.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, it still might happen.
Drew in Money in the Bank.
Yeah, let's get to that main event now
I
because
still
that main event first off was a banger.
what had Sheamus involved? Of course it was.
No, it was, but and either Dragunov. I mean, I don't think we were supposed to. I don't think we were surprised that Drew McIntyre won. I mean, that
No.
was kind of obvious. Um, but the match itself was a hell of a good match, and Dragunov will have his time. Sheamus was probably the best guy to eat that pin. It does nothing to Sheamus,
Yep.
right? It would probably hurt Dragunov a little bit if he did lose, but not to. But Sheamus taking the pin makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
Especially the sequence at the end where Sheamus tried to go for a brogue kick and then got Claymore instead. That was good.
I mean, they've worked each other
Oh yeah, for
hundreds of times,
years.
so like
Yeah,
they know each other better than anybody.
and throwing
Um,
Dragunov in there was like throwing in Walter at WrestleMania.
Punk is going to cost Drew the
That is our
same
guess.
the same way that Bray cost Roman back in the day. It's just going to be one of those lights out deals, and then Punk's going to be underneath the ladder,
Yep.
or Punk's music's going to hit.
Yeah, I think Punk's gonna be. I think it's given. Punk is going to be the one that costs Drew. That being said, who do you think win? I mean, we're gonna eliminate Drew right now. We don't think Drew is gonna win at all. We think Punk is eliminating him or costing him the time. Who do you
I
think out of this field? I'd be okay with any one of them, to be honest with you.
So what do we got? Andrade.
We have Andrade, we have Jey Uso, we
Okay.
have Carmelo Hayes, we have Drew McIntyre, and we have
Chad Gable and
Chad
LA Knight.
Gable and LA Knight.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if LA Knight wins or Jey
I
Uso.
I
But
don't
if you
see Jey Uso winning this.
but
I see,
gun to my head,
yeah,
I have to pick one.
I'm gonna
I'll
say
pick LA Knight.
I think LA Knight's more likely to win that than the Jey Uso. I think Jay has other fish to fry. I think we've mentioned. I think you've mentioned before in this podcast too, on this show too, that Jay will probably have be somebody will cost Jay because
It could very well be
it could very well be somebody in the bloodline.
Jacob.
Could be Jacob, could be Tamatonga, could be Tonga Loa. All depends on whoever the odd man out is in that three-way match coming at Money in the Bank. Well, I think will be the one that costs Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Whoever the odd man out is. And to be honest, I
Um,
think it's gonna be Tonga Loa.
yeah, I think so too. But yeah, so I mean, I guess while we're on the subject, we both have Tiffany Stratton. I picked LA Knight.
I think
Who
I'm taking LA Knight too. I
okay, so
actually, you know what? You know, I'll go different on this one. I'll go different on this because You know what? I'm gonna say, so we're gonna go money in the bank here. It's just quick money in the bank predictions, folks. We're just gonna have some fun with this right now. So we're going money in the bank, men's. We have Doug, we have Andrew. All right, so we're gonna go. You're saying LA Knight.
Yep.
For arguments purposes, just for the sake for a pick, I'm gonna take Andrade.
Okay.
Because I think Andrade, I think that's somebody you can put in the title picture, and he would do quite well, and he would be a nice challenger for Cody.
Okay, go ahead.
All right,
Women's Tiffany Stratton.
I think we're both taking Stratus. We've talked about this now for months. At this point,
Yep.
we think of Stratton. We both think of Stratton ever since.
I think about Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. So after what she did in Invitation, I think it's Stratton, and I think she'd have to go through Nia at some point just to get to the title.
So,
Or Nia's gonna beat Bailey. I think she's gonna beat. Then Tiffany's gonna cash in on Nia.
there's 3 more matches on that card.
3 more matches on the card. We have the triple threat. Well, we'll leave that one for the end. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I think Braun's gonna win too.
I mean, we didn't even touch on that yet, but yeah,
No,
Braun
because
Breaker.
that happened today actually on Raw too, and Braun laid out Sammy. Wrestling Logic says Sammy's gonna win.
I don't think this
I don't
time.
think so.
I don't
No.
think it applies this time.
No, that's the thing. Sami Zayn did have a nice promo and a nice go against Braun Breaker tonight on Raw, and Braun left him Zayn put up a good fight, but Braun left him on the ground, broken.
2 spears, man.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good match, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sammy loses the title here. I think we've called it. I think we've both called it a while back. So we're both taking Braun.
Priest and Rollins. I'm taking
Priest
Rollins.
versus Rollins.
I'm taking Rollins.
To be honest, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Rollins as well. I don't see Priest, especially after tonight. If tonight didn't happen the way it did, I would say Priest.
There's still a chance.
I'm still gonna say.
Priest,
I'm gonna say Priest. You could have Rollins. I'm gonna take Priest.
And then I guess
because to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing Priest versus Gunther. I think that to me
WWE's version of the Avengers.
Yep, it's gonna be Cody and Co, which is Cody, Randy Orton. Have you ever seen Randy Orton live?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first time I get to see Randy live since SummerSlam when he won the title. Looking forward to this. And Kevin Owens, I'm looking forward to Kevin Owens. Versus the new bloodline, that's what we want to call them. Question is, it'll probably be Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa.
Bloodline's going to win this.
Yeah, Bloodline's going to win too. But
there's an off chance that someone comes back.
There's an off chance.
Jimmy Uso.
There's an off chance. There's some people that come back. They might not do anything, but they might just make their presence felt.
Cough, cough, Jimmy Uso.
Cough, cough, possibly Roman Reigns.
Not likely.
Well, you know what? We can hope for it.
Yeah, we can dream.
We can hope for it.
So, are you taking the Avengers or are you taking Bloodline?
I'm taking Bloodline, man. There's no way Bloodline's not.
I'll take the Avengers then.
Okay, fine. You're taking the Avengers, fine.
Just for arguments purposes.
Sure. I don't think the Bloodline's going to lose this, and I know you don't believe the Avengers are going to win this either.
No,
not a chance.
And again, like I said it on SmackDown, you have Solo pin Cody to set up the SummerSlam match.
Yep.
For the title.
Yep. That's probably what is going to happen at Money in the Bank.
All right.
All right.
I guess you wanted to touch on Forbidden Door real quick.
All right, let's not touch on a little bit of Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door happened on Sunday last night, everybody, before we get out of here. We've already mentioned it in the show. Ospreay did lose to Swerve. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I feel it's a good call.
Watching the highlights of the match, it was really good.
It was a good match. Let's see.
they really want to run with Swerve, and
I think they should.
yeah.
I think his work this year, and you said it yourself, that it deserves to be it. It held that title for a while. All right. Uh, fan favorites here. John Moxley did lose the IWGP World Heavyweight title to former champion Tetsuya Naito. Good match though. From what I understand, it was extremely good match. Uh,
So
Naito had some fun with the chair, so
I've heard a kind of collective kind of groan about Naito being champion again because it kind of put a glaring problem on this current state of New Japan
yeah,
in the sense that, like, yeah, you have guys up and coming that'll be fine eventually,
yeah,
but until then it's basically Naito that's carrying the company. um so I honestly think Naito now holds the belt until Wrestle Kingdom. And speaking of Wrestle Kingdom, the day after,
that was announced actually at Forbidden Door.
yeah, that
Dynasty. I think it's called
it'll be
Wrestling
similar
Dynasty.
similar to Forbidden Door this year, but you're gonna have Stardom,
Yep,
New Japan, AEW, CMLL,
yep.
and is AAA involved with this too?
No, I think it's just those four you mentioned.
Just those four. Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's kind of like a super card,
yeah.
kind of like what we just got tonight.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Other matches. Zack Sabre Jr. beat Orange Cassidy.
In one of the sickest submissions I've ever seen.
Yeah. Tony Storm beat Mina Shirakawa. They all embraced the ring at the end. Look, Mariah May's taking that title off of Tony Storm. There's nobody.
Embraced is putting it mildly. They
Yeah, yeah, they
kissed
kissed.
in the middle of the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all three. But big surprise of the night though, return finally
Britt
of Britt
Baker.
Baker. About time.
DMD.
Looking forward to Dynamite. See what she says.
I think
She
she's going after Mercedes in the
she came
TBS
after
title.
she came after Mercedes right away. That's exactly who after Mercedes beat Stephanie Bakir in a very good match. From what I understand, Stephanie Bakir is a very talented wrestler. I really think they well. I understand where they're going with this. So looking forward to seeing Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné. I didn't think I wanted to see that match, but I really do now.
Billy beat the acclaimed, and
Yeah, that's not a surprise. Okada pinned Tanahashi.
gee,
What a
death.
surprise!
What did I say on Friday?
But the
Death,
death taxes
taxes.
and Okada pins.
Okada beats Tanahashi.
Yeah, so that's expected. Uh, for the most part, it was a good show. Those are just some of the matches, guys. Just going over. Go watch the card. It was a good show. It is long though. Started at 8 o'clock. From what I understand, it didn't end till like 12:30,
Yeah,
something like those
they
lines.
gotta get these under control, man. Like, I get it,
Hmm.
but I also know, like, there's a reason why WWE started doing these 5 match shows
Yeah,
to kind of they can get all the advertisement time
yeah,
out of the way
yeah,
and still keep it within a 3 hour stretch.
yeah.
But it's also why for the big shows like your WrestleMania, and they're doing it with SummerSlam next year,
Mm. Two shows.
that yeah, they've split it up into 2 nights.
Yeah. So there's a reason. I remember I know a couple years ago when W was having all these long pay-per-views, and I was getting annoyed by it. Now AEW's doing the exact same thing, and nobody seems to be. It's trolls.
Well, I mean, I just think, like, when you watch a show that long,
Yeah,
you run the risk of getting burnt out.
yeah. And to be honest, yeah, even like when we were at Forbidden Door, it was a long show because it started at 8 o'clock, and we were there till 12 o'clock,
Yeah,
till
we were
mid till
there till
midnight, till midnight. It was a 4 hour show, and I'll be honest, yeah, some of those matches, even though they were good matches, I just could have
I
cared
get it.
less.
I get it.
You know,
But again, this is just two guys' opinions. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we're not far off in the general opinion either, but we'll find out. Anyway, NHL. Anyway, let's get the hell out of here. Take us on out here. We're gonna end up this. You know what? Follow all our socials, everybody. Andrea DA Sports, Andrea DA Wrestling on Twitter, AM Purcell on Twitter as well. DA Sports on TikTok. Doug is D Lions on Twitter. Follow us on Podbean. Make sure you subscribe down below. If you guys enjoy the content, please hit the subscribe button. It's a small click for you guys, but a big thing for us. We thank you very much for all the support at all times there. Thank you very much for enjoying that. Thank you for watching the episode. Also, before we leave though, AHL free agency happening today, Doug.
Over $1 billion in contracts
Hell
were
yeah.
signed today.
Leafs made a splash. Yeah, Nashville made a splash.
Nashville made a huge splash.
Blackhawks made a splash.
Yeah, but the Blackhawks aren't going to be competitive. They'll get another top 10 draft pick this year. And listen, they're going to spend everything in free agency next year. I promise.
Yeah, they want to build that team around.
It's such a much more loaded class next year. So
they're going to build that team around Bedard.
But until next time, catch you down the road.